Hey everybody, welcome to the PBL Training Overview. This is where you should begin because we're going to be going over some really important information that you need as you go through this training. So let's go over the outcomes. The first one is really an overview of the course. That's what we'll talk about today. We'll discuss where you should even begin in the 8 modules that I've created. We're going to talk about why it's important for you to know yourself as a learner as you go through this independent training. I want to talk to you about the project overview and what you will need to submit at the very end of this to finalize your hours and to get the pay for the hours you're putting into this curriculum development. You're going to learn how to submit, and I'll talk about how you'll make a 30-minute appointment with me to get some feedback. I want you to understand the purpose of checkpoints in this process and how it's going to serve you to make your project overview and the work that you're doing even better. And then I didn't want to forget to let you know that this is the first time anyone's ever gone through this training. I just built it for you, so I would appreciate any feedback that you have. I have some feedback sections built in where you can pause and just give me, let me know what's working for you and what's not. That way I can improve it for the next go around. And please, just a little forgiveness for any spelling errors that you find. I quickly went through this, but there's probably more grammar or spelling that I need to correct. So please forgive me for any words that are letters that go from A to Z. All right, let's talk about the overview. There are 8 modules in this training program, and the purpose of the 8 modules is to really take you through every single part of, I guess, design of the projects that you're going to be working on next year. So we start with just defining what is PBL and really getting clear about how that's different than doing projects in your class, and what does it mean to be gold standard? What is a gold standard PBL project versus just a PBL project? We get into classroom culture. We've not always spent a lot of time on this, but I think with next year coming back from a year of COVID, it's going to be really important for us to be intentional with building our classroom culture. So I've got strategies and some ideas on how you might want to do that. You're going to really, you need to look at that before you get into the other ones. And so the asterisks are showing kind of a prerequisite, that each one of those has a prerequisite. The purpose here is before you get to the end, which is mapping your project, you have such a firm understanding of all the pieces that have to play into the curriculum map that you're able to jump right into the curriculum mapping at the end with a great understanding of all the things. All right, so where do you begin? Well, as you just saw, the first module, what is PBL, and the last module, integrating whole school projects, those do not have prerequisites built. They kind of stand alone and stand on their own. They're there for you so that you can delve into them, especially number 8, where if you are working on an integrated project, or if you want to know what the process we use for the school-wide project, the protocols are in there. And so that's there for all of us to use as we move throughout the year. But you begin where you need to. So if you want to begin at what is PBL, begin there. That's fine. Otherwise, you're going to be starting at building classroom culture and working your way all the way through. All right, so you as a learner, I just want you to be mindful of how you need to engage in this. How do you want to collect information? How do you want to take notes? How do you want to be the learner? So with that information, you might need to take advantage of some type of notes document. I've included one here on the home page. Feel free to use it. If you want to create your own, please do that. But figure out a way that you can jot down information, internalize it, so that it will be fresh in your mind, or even in an easy place for you to find it when you do go to implement in the fall semester. And then there is a goal setting exercise. I'd encourage you to do that goal setting. You can use that on your PDP next year, but just really think about where it is you want to focus on your development, your personal and professional development in this project planning process. All right, your big culminating task is to complete the entire project overview. There are 4 parts to this. This training is designed to help you, support you in filling out and thinking through each of these 4 parts. So you will start with part 1 and 2, with just the general overview of project ideas, getting into what your learning goals are. There'll be a module for project milestones. Those are usually tied to the summative assessments and formative assessments, and you as a teacher knowing that the students are progressing in the way that they need to be. And then part 4 is doing that curriculum map. This is the big milestone for your project design. So at the end, you're going to be submitting this, and I will be giving you feedback either on the whole thing or on something specific that you want feedback on. And there'll be information on how to submit it and then how to make an appointment with me to do a 30-minute feedback session. All right, progress checks are built in. I just want you to know that the progress checks are not mandatory, but they're there to help support you and kind of chunk the information so that you don't get lost or that you're missing huge amounts at the very end. So just like in your classroom, we build in checkpoints on a weekly basis. I'm trying to model the same thing. I would love for you to take advantage of them. For instance, if you're writing a driving question and you just want feedback on that, there's an opportunity for you to put that in a discussion board, and I can give you feedback on that driving question, or the group can. So there are checkpoints in each module, and then that blue is the milestone, which in section module 7, you're submitting the curriculum map. All right, so lastly, just check in with any questions. I'm here to help. I want you to be done with this by June 28th. That will give me the last few days of the month to do any feedback that I need to, or any tidying things up. And don't forget to log your hours that you're working. Again, there'll be information at the end on how to make that appointment with me. I'll even put it on the homepage here, so you know maybe you want to set a time ahead of everybody else, just so that you've got something to work towards. But that information will be available to you. And I think that's it. So happy planning. I'm here to support you, and let me know if you have questions.